So, guys, are we still together? Can you guys hear me? Hello. All right. So let me just continue from where I actually stopped. So I said, based on the test formats, we have four different parts, whereby the part A is actually based on the diagrammatic reasoning. You have the verbal reasoning. You have the quantitative reasoning and the spatial reasoning. So for the diagrammatic reasoning, we have question 1 to 30, and this we have question 31 to 60, 61 to 90, 91 to 120. Wow, that's interesting. And it is clearly stated here that NNPC test would usually come in four sections. You will be required to answer 120 questions in 120 minutes. So let's assume we are going to come across 120 questions. So that means we are only expected to spend 1 minute on each question. So you have to be very, very smart. So let me just tell you this. One thing about um, this test of a thing, probably online test, or when it comes to tests like this, whether verbal reasoning, quantitative reasoning, it's actually based on what we call the, I think, SSA, if I'm not mistaken, speed, smartness, and accuracy. So if you know you want to try to solve the question in less than 1 minute, which requires the speed, sometimes, okay, I think it's SAS, yeah, speed come first. So as you're trying to speed up the solution, make sure that whatever you are doing is accurate. Always have that in mind. At the same time, you need to apply smartness to it. I can actually give you an example to this. Let me give you one example. There's a question which says, solve for x. Let's say solve for x if 2x is equals to 4. All right? This is the question. So I know that you guys can solve this. You just divide both sides by 2 and then you get a final result. But do you know that you can actually apply smartness to this? Let's assume if you solve this kind of question, it's going to take you like, if you solve it normally, like showing workings, like saying divide both sides by 2, if you don't try to break it down, let's say it's going to take you like, it's going to take 2 minutes to get to the final result. But the smartness that I'm referring to here implies that if you have the options given as 3, 4, and 2, okay, I know that you're a math guru, you can easily solve this question and you get a final answer. But one thing is, no matter how fast you are, if I apply this third letter here, which is called smartness, I'm going to get the answer before you. And the concept is I can test for the options. So sometimes you might have luck if the correct answer is in option A. Because if I trivially looking at this, I don't want to solve at all. I'm only looking at the screen. If I just substitute, the question says solve for x. So which means x is the final, x is among this option, right? So it's either x is 3, 4, 2. So what if I just look at the screen and then try to pick option A? Okay, x is 3. Now, trivially speaking, it is clearly seen here that 2 times 3 is not 4. So you see, that is just, I can only look at it and then guess for 2 seconds, right? So if I spend 2 seconds here, then for the second option to 4, if I substitute 4 here, 4 times 2 is 8, which is not correct. When it comes to equation, this thing means equal, which means left hand side must always be equal to right hand side. All right? This is the meaning, equal to sign. So if I decide to slot in 4 here and I have 8, 8 is not equals to 4 now. So it's not balanced. The equation is not valid. Okay, then this will also take me like 2 seconds to guess. And then from here, if I slot in 2, then I have 4 equals to 4. And 2 times 2 is 4. And this is the correct answer. You see, I did not solve, but I was able to detect. So that's why I said if you had the luck, probably if the right answer is in option A, then that means you'd have used just 2 seconds to answer this question. But whereas you writing 2x, trying to solve, divide both sides by 2, this is 1 second. For me to write x, another 1 second, which makes it 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, divide both sides by 2, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, cancel out, you know, 8 seconds, cancel this before you, hey, God. Bob, Jabami Lotto, no. So 2 in 4, we have it as We have it as 2, right? So you see, it's going to take you up to like 10 seconds. But whereas if the right answer is in option A, you can easily pick, you just spend 2 seconds trying to solve that kind of question. I hope that is clear. So do you guys understand that concept? So that's just the main information I have for you guys before we start. So I believe you guys can still hear me. Can you please confirm if you can still hear me? But there's no way I can actually detect that. I'm sure. Can you guys hear me? Oh, my network. Okay. Wait. All right. So now I want to interpret this particular problem here, which is question number 1. So we are going to let x represent. Are you guys following? Just follow up. Okay, let x represent the number of apples I have. This is I have, all right? And also, remember that I said you should also let y represent the number of apples that you have. You get that logic? Now, the next statement says, the first statement here says, if I give you 7 apples. So that means I don't know the number of apples that I have. That's why we call it X. If you're looking for something that you don't know, you call it X. All right. So in this particular problem, I don't know the number of apples that I have. So that's why I call it X. And I don't know the number of apples that you have. That's why I call it Y. I can't use X again because I've already taken X. So I have to use another letter that will represent the number of apples that you have. So now I'll start by interpreting this first statement here, which says, if I give you 7 apples, now let's say I have 10 apples now. If I give you 7 apples, I'll be left with 3, right? So that means since I don't know, okay, how did you get that 3? You actually subtracted 3 from 10, right? Sorry, 7 from 10 to get that 3. So the same thing is applicable here. But in that case, you would have written it mathematically as 10 minus 3. So in this case, I don't know the number of apples that I have. So, but I know that I have X apples. So if I give you 7 apples based on this first statement, right? Or will I say first sentence? All right. If I give you 7 apples, then mathematically speaking, I can write it as that means I would have X. What was on my pen? Guys, please hold on. I'm coming. So that means I have X apples. If I give you 7, I'm going to write it this way, X minus 7. So do you all agree with this? This is what I will have left. Are you guys following? Can you all hear me? So if I give you 7 apples, this is what I'm going to have left. I'll be left with just X minus 7 apples. Then what happens if I try to interpret this? You will then have 5 times as many as I have. So that means you would have, you already have white apples. So if I'm trying to give you 7, I'll remove 7 from my own and I'm adding 7 to your own. So I would have written your own number of apples. You will definitely have white plus 7. Okay, I'm still on the first statement, all right? If I give you 7 apples, that means I'll remove 7 from my own, then I'll add that 7 apples to your own. So that's what we have actually done here, all right? So then we still need to interpret what we have as the second sentence here. All right. So according to the question, all right, y plus 7, that is the number of apples that you have left, that you have presently, is equals to what? You know, according to the second statement, you will have 5 times. Get that logic? 5 times as many as I have. Right? So how many apples do I have left now? I have X minus 7. So this is equation 1. So I hope this is clear. you will then have, this is already the number of apples that you have after giving you the seven apples. So you will then have five times. So I use the equal to sign to express that five times as many as I have, and I already have x minus seven. You understand that? So this is equation one. So you can try to solve this and then break it down. Y plus 7 equals to 5 times x is 5x. Hope I'm not too fast. All right, thank you. So then I have 5 times negative 7, which is negative 35. All right, so I can just call this equation 1 and then I stop. Okay, so remember that we have this as first equation and this is where we are now. So I've been able to explain all this. Okay, sorry, up to confirming. So this is what I have, guys. So I've been able to explain all this up to this extent. Okay, so then we are going to continue with this. However, guys, you can take a screenshot because I'm going to clean this anytime soon. And just screenshot this. So, however, if you give me seven apples, now this is another statement entirely. So can I rub this off, please? Can I clean it? All right, thank you. So let me just clear this part up to okay. So I will not clear this equation one. Let's leave this equation one so we can still see it. Okay. So, however, if you give me this time around, you are giving me seven apples. That means I will add to my own and I'll remove from your own. And I'm still using X as the number of apples that I have, and I'm still using Y as the number of apples that you had initially. You get that logic? So if you give me seven apples, I will then have X, I'll add seven to my own. You get that logic? I'll add seven to my own. You are giving me seven apples this time around. But in your own case, you would have Y. You gave me seven apples, so I'll remove seven from the number of apples that you have. Y minus seven. Okay? So I've been able to interpret, however, if you give me a seven apples, then we have these two results. We will then both have the same number of apples, right? That means this is equals to this. You get that logic? We will then both have, if you give me say seven apples, that means I'll add to my own, I'll subtract from your own. And they said the result, they both have the same number of apples. So I'm going to equate these two equations together. That is x plus 7 is equals to what? Y minus 7. And this is equation 2. So guys, can you imagine? You need to solve this thing under 1 minute. Is it possible? This is simultaneous equation, and there's no way you can actually detect, even though if you want to test for options, okay, can I test for options? It will take a lot of time. I can see 14 here. I can see 14 here, which is, I think this should be for my own, right? And I know that x is 14. So if I can slot in 14 here, in fact, there's no need for you to even, this is what I was trying to say when it comes to smartness. I think it should be work here. Do you know that if you are trying to form that, yes, you can solve, you would have solved these two equations simultaneously. I know you can solve simultaneous equations for those that still remember one or two basic concepts in mathematics. You would have go ahead and do simultaneous equation, and it will take a lot of time before you even collect like terms. You take y to this part, you take 7 to the other side, and then you rearrange it. It will take a lot of time. But do you know that I can actually detect by saying, okay, I don't want to start with option A. Let me test with option D. The answer is option D, so I don't want to waste our time. All right. So if I test for this option D, this option says I have 14 apples. So that means X is 14. You know, that is the letter I use to represent the number of apples that I have. So if I slot in 14 here, I can put it anywhere. Probably from here, I don't even need the second statement again. From here, if it's satisfied, then I'm good to go. But I think I have a bigger value here. So let me just go with this second equation. So if I have 14 apples, that means X is 14 plus 7, right? Then Y minus 7. That means I need to get your own number of apples that you have. So if I slot in 14 here and I notice that Y gives me 28, then this is correct. Otherwise, I'll go and test for other options. You get? But it's still going to take a lot of time. What if I test for this and it does not work? Okay, that's how many seconds. If I test for this, that's how many seconds. So it depends. So if you have that luck to pick any option and if that is correct, then you are good to go. So looking at this now, 14 plus 7, that's what, guys? Please let's put together, please. 14 plus 7. Yeah, now, guys. Can you still hear me? 21. Thank you. Yeah. So I have 21 equals to y minus 7. Then I'll take 7 to the right hand side. If this negative 7 goes to the right hand side, or you say add 7 to the both side of the equation, you know, then you have this. Once this negative sign crosses an equal to sign, it will change. Okay? So, or you say add 7 to both sides. So if you add 7 here, minus 7 plus 7 will cancel. Just like saying you are owing 7 naira, you have 7 naira. Minus means I'm owing, plus means I have. So if I'm owing you 7 naira and I have 7 naira, if I clear off, if I try to pay you the 7 naira, that means I don't have anything and I'm not owing you anything again. So that's 0. So that's why we have y left here. Then the plus 7 that I've added to both sides, I still have it here. Or better still, you can just say take this negative 7 to the other side of the equation. Now, this minus is for this 7. Once it crosses an equal to sign, it becomes plus. If you have plus here and it crosses to the other side, it becomes minus, and vice versa, you get. So this is 21 plus 7, and that's 28. You see, I didn't bother to even use simultaneous equation, and I was able to get the final results. So you see where the smartness is coming in. So whereas if I was the one, I would have done it, I would have used simultaneous equation. When I was trying to practice, I was trying to go through it this morning and I noticed why can't I just apply smartness to this and I get my final result? Because normally you would have used simultaneous equation. This is equation one, this is equation two, and then you collect like terms here, collect another like terms here, and then you apply elimination method or you use substitution method. It will take a lot of time. So I believe you guys understand what I'm trying to say. So what do you suggest now? Will you go for this method or you still want me to explain how to use simultaneous equation to solve this? Should the case if the testing will not work, what do you guys think? Should I explain the simultaneous equation part? It's more preferable, right? Okay, good. Okay, good. So can I hear from the lady? So do you still want me to do you want me to go straight to the next question, or I should still explain how to use simultaneous equation to solve this question? I want to hear from the ladies, please. What do you say? I should use it. All right. All right, no problem. So let me just go ahead and do that. So let's say we don't want to test. One thing is the best thing is to just use it. I really because I can see option D, that's why I went for option D. But if you're inside that exam, I'm very, very sure you would have tested for this and then test for this. How many seconds will it take you to solve this? Let's say 10 seconds. 10 seconds, 24 plus 7. Let's say 10 seconds. All right. And to test for this one to 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds. And that is total of 40 seconds, which is still less than 1 minute. That's very, very nice. What if I want to use simultaneous equation? So this is equation 2, right? So I'm going to write equation 1 using simultaneous equation, SE for short. So I have this first equation as y plus 7 equals to 5x minus 35. And this is equation 1. So guys, what is equation 2? X plus 7. You can mute ma. All right, thank you. So I have this as equation 2. All right, so I can easily clear this now. Now let's solve these two equations. So one thing about simultaneous equation is you are expected to have your equations in this form: ax plus by is equals to constant c, and you can also have dx plus ey equals to constant f. This is the standard form of simultaneous equation. We also have standard form of quadratic equation, which is as squared plus bx plus c. So you must understand the arrangement for these two equations. All right, that is x will come first, then followed by y. X will come first, then followed by y, and you always have a coefficient. Coefficient means the number that is multiplying any expression that is multiplying any constant that is multiplying that variable is said to be the coefficient for that expression. So now if this is standard form, looking at this, I can see that y is not in the right position. Do you agree with that? Y is not meant to be here. It's meant to be here, right? And take note, y will always be under y, x will be under x. So can I try to arrange that? Yes, I can. I have y here. So okay, what do you suggest? Should I take this one to this side? And I can take this 5x to this side, or better still, you can leave everything here and take y to the other side, and then you take this one to the other side. So depending on how you want to deal with that. So I want to take this 5x to the left hand side. Initially, there's an invisible plus here. Take note. All right. If I write my name, I'm Noah by name, right? So I can write Noah in different form. There's an invisible plus here, okay? Plus Noah is still the same thing as Noah. 1 times Noah is still the same thing as Noah. That is, there's always invisible 1 at the back of Noah, or there's always invisible plus at the back of Noah, depending on how you want to reveal that expression. I think somebody just raised. Do you have a question? Who is that? Okay. All right. Let me just continue. So guys, from here, there's an invisible plus, right? So I need to take this plus 5x to the left-hand side of the equation, and then we have it as negative 5x. I'm taking this plus 7 to the right-hand side because I don't need any other constant, just x and y alone. So if I bring this one like this, I have minus 5x. I already have y here initially, and there's an invisible plus here. So I'll just put plus y, then equal to, then I don't have 5x here anymore. What I have left here is negative 35, and I want to bring this plus 7 like this, and that becomes minus 7. Hope I'm not too fast. Do you understand that? Is that clear, guys? Is it clear? Okay, good. So from here now, we have negative 5x plus y equals to negative 35, negative 7. So for this second part, I'll take this y to the left hand side, and that is x minus y equals to. Now remember that we have negative 7 here, negative 7. And if this plus 7 goes to the right hand side, it becomes negative 7. Okay, now I separate it with a long horizontal line. So now you see that x is under x, y is under y, right? And then I'll just need to subtract this, and that should be negative 5x plus y is equals to negative, what's 35 minus 7? Negative 35, negative 7, that's, I'm weighing 35 naira, I'm weighing 7 naira. That's minus 42. Are you guys following? I hope you all believe that this is minus 42. Good. And I have x minus y is equals to minus 14. Minus 14. So luckily for us, we don't need to even apply elimination method here since we have this plus y and minus y. That is, it can easily eliminate. It is trivial. That is, if I had equation, this, let's say this is our new equation 3, and this is our new equation 4. So do you know that if I had 3 and 4 together, if I add this one and this one, I'll still have something of x. But if I add this one together, it will become 0. That is what we call elimination method. You need to eliminate one letter in order for you to get the other one. Okay? So in this case, I will not really go deep into simultaneous equation using the elimination method since this will cancel out. I don't want to waste our time. Plus y minus y will cancel. Just adding the two equations together. So you guys can take a screenshot of this before I clear it up. So I think you should have done that. Let me just clear this part. So in continuation, so I'm going to add these two equations together. That is, I can put the plus sign here, plus, plus, and then plus. Like I want to add these two equations. So I'm going to take this minus 5x first. Minus 5x. Then plus the down part x. And I stop. What's the next thing? Plus y. Write everything you see here. Okay? Plus y plus minus y. And you know plus times minus is minus. And that is minus y in that case. So here I have minus 42 plus minus 14. Plus times minus is minus. That's minus 14. So then I have minus 5x plus x. I'm owing 5 naira. I have 1 naira. Okay. If I pay the 1 naira, if I pay the 1 naira that I actually have with me, so that means I don't have any other money with me again. But I'm still owing how much? 4 naira. That's minus 4. Thank you. That's minus 4x. Thank you. And this becomes 0 equals to. And I have minus 42 minus 14. I'm owing you 42 naira. I'm also owing another person 14 naira. So I don't have any other money. I'm still owing altogether. So I'll put the sign of I'm still owing. How much altogether? I'm owing 68. Sorry, what am I saying? That's 50, 58, 56. Sorry for that. That's 56, right? 42 and 14, that should be 56. Am I correct? Is that clear, guys? So, okay. So from here now, the coefficient of x here is minus 4 because minus 4 is a constant multiplying that variable. Okay, so I will divide both sides by the coefficient of x, which is minus 4, by minus 4. This will cancel out this, and x is equals to minus cancel minus. And 4 in 56, 4 here, 4 goes in 15 one times, you get, right? I mean, 1, 4 in 16 is 4. So can you see that x is 14? And initially, I said x represents the number of apples that I have. And they said, how many apples do we currently have? So that means I have 14 apples. Get that logic? Now that I have 14 apples, how will I get the number of apples that you have? So I'll just remove from this statement which says if I give you 7 apples, okay, I didn't even use I don't need to use this. Still the same expression. I can pick any one of this. If I pick, let's say if I decide to pick this second equation, x minus y equals to minus 14, equals to minus 14. So you substitute the value for x. Since x is 14, you slot it here. 14 minus y is equals to minus 14. So if I decide to collect like terms here, minus y is, please take note, this minus is for y. It's not that you take this one to the other side now, then you now forget the minus. You just come and write y. He's very careful of signs when it comes to math. So 14 will move to the right hand side of the equation. I'm still left with a negative sign here because this minus here is for y. So I already have a negative 14 here, but this 14 is coming to the other side, which becomes minus 14. Minus 14. There's an invisible plus here, and if it crosses, it becomes a negative sign. And I have a negative sign of y, minus 14 minus 14. I'm winning 14 naira, and I'm also winning another person 14 naira. So altogether, I'm winning 28 naira. So you know that this minus will cancel this minus. Okay, divide both sides by a negative sign, but do you know that it's not just negative sign? I was trying to explain something here that I can write 1 times Noah as Noah. At least there's an invisible 1 here. So that means if y represents Noah, there's an invisible 1 here. So I'm dividing both sides by negative 1. Or you say divide both sides by minus. So anyone you choose to use. So this cancel this, and y is equals to 28. So do you now see the reason why I said smartness is the key when it comes to solving most of this question? Imagine this is what you want to go and do inside exam. I just pray most of the question will be something easier and direct. Not, I pray it won't take much time to solve. So is that clear, guys? Can I move straight to the next question? To the next question. Okay. Yeah, I will take note of that. Once it's 9 o'clock, we can use the other link. All right. All right. Thank you. So I need to clear everything here. So you can take a screenshot, all right? I'll take a screenshot. So let me try to delete all this system behind it. Okay. Let me delete this. Delete now. Good. So now let's move to question number 2. But I need to plug my phone, please. Just hold on. Why this thing is not charging? Hold on, guys. I'm coming. They are still on question number 1. Hey, God. Okay. Let's see. For the next question, it's not fair. This question here says, if it takes Shay 20 minutes to boil an egg in 1.5 liters of water, if it takes Shay 20 minutes, that means it takes Shay 20 minutes to boil 1.5 liters of water. How long will it take Allah, who is 3 years older than Shay? So, trivially speaking, this statement here is useless. I didn't even need it. All right. What I need is, since I have 20 minutes for to boil an egg in 1.5 liters of water, right? So I need a corresponding statement with this. Okay, and that is to boil 4 eggs. That means I'm looking for how long it will take Allah, right? How long will it take Allah? That is X minutes. I don't know the number of minutes it's going to take Allah. This one is for Shei, right? So I need to write the mathematical expression for Allah as well. And looking at this, how long will it take Allah? That is X. I don't know the number of minutes it's going to take Allah. All I know is that they are still trying to boil the same liters of water, which is 1.5 liters. That is, how long will it take Allah, who is 3 years older than she, to boil 4 eggs in 1.5 liters of water? So they just want to use this statement, this 3 years older and this boil 4 eggs to convince you. So you don't have to fall for that. Right? So just interpret what you need. 20 minutes is 1.5 liters. So you need a corresponding statement to this. And then you go ahead and solve. So if I cross multiply, right? X times 1.5 remain as 1.5x equals to. And 20 times 1.5, okay, that should give us what? Let's say you answer exam and then you want to multiply such results. What do you do? So I think the best way is to, I don't want to explain the right way, but just use the on-screen calculator. I'm very sure it will be provided. Let me take this off. So I have one on-screen calculator here, but my own is still more advanced a little bit. It's not like, it's not the same. Okay, I think it's the same thing. Just that for the on-screen calculator, you might not see all this rad. I'm not sure whether it will be there. And if it's there, congratulations. You might not see all this. This is the only thing that you will see. Just this guy here, from here to here. All right. So remember that I want to calculate for, is that not 20 minutes times 1.5? I think that was what I wanted to solve. So now press equal. That's 30, guys. That's 30. Or better still, do I need to express that? I don't need that. Let me just write, okay, x times 1.5. We have 10 minutes left, right? How many minutes left? So guys, this is 20, sorry, x times 1.5. I have this. Now I'll just write this one to as 20 times 1.5. So I don't want to multiply it. Let's just do this way. So if I divide both sides by 1.5 by 1.5, this will cancel this. And x is equals to, this one will also cancel this one. It's allowed. But if it is plus, it's not allowed. Alright? So if this cancels this, I'm still left with 20. That means it will also take x represent the number of minutes it's going to take Alan to boil that same egg. That's just 20. Or if you want to go with to boil 4 eggs, it is not stated. You just have to go with. I didn't think they said to boil a egg. Just I didn't think it stated that one egg now it is different. Then I'll just go ahead and multiply this result by 4. To boil one egg, that is 20 minutes. And to boil 4 eggs, that is being asked, say, go with 80 minutes. But it just said boil an egg. It was not stated initially that you are trying to boil that one egg or 4 eggs. But at the end of the day, it was stated at 4 eggs. So there's only for you to say this is just representing one. An egg, you can't say that. So guys, it still remains as 20 minutes for Allah to boil egg in this same liters of water. So that remains option B, which is 20 minutes. So is that clear, guys? Or you still want to, or do you have any question? Any question? Can I proceed? All right, thank you. Now for the next question, that is question number 3. Let me try to scroll up a little bit. Okay. We have Amakiri spent 125. This question, it take a lot of time. Let me see. I'm actually spent more than 25 naira for camera and some film. I have two things here, just like apples. I have apple, I give you seven. So I use X to represent the number of apples that I have, and I use Y to represent the number of apples that you have. So the same thing is applicable here. If I'm actually spent 125 naira for camera, let one camera represent X. Let camera represent X. And let some themes, theme, as it is stated, that you have two things there, camera and some theme. Let some theme represent Y. Then from there, you know what to do. So, guys, now let me try to interpret that. So, for question three, let the cost of the okay, let me say let the cost of the film represent okay some theme. I don't know how much. Okay, I know how much this one costs for camera, but I don't know how much this film costs. So I can let the cost of the film represent X. Let me start with that. Okay, and then what will be the cost of the camera? Then the cost of the camera will be what? So I noticed that the camera costs 100 more than the film. Exactly, that's my target. If you let the cost of the film represent X, which I don't know, okay, all I know is that the total amount spent for both, like camera plus film, is 125. I'll come back to that part. But if I use this and I represent the total, the cost of film to be X, and then the second statement is stated that the camera costs 100 more than the film. If the film costs X naira, which we don't know, and the camera costs 100 naira more than the film, so that should be 100 naira plus the cost of the film more than, so you are adding it together with the cost of the film. I hope that is clear. I hope this part is clear. Is it clear enough? Good. Now that we know the cost of the camera to be 100 plus X, so I'm actually spent 125 for both. That is, we spent 125 naira for camera and some film. For camera and some film implies that you are going to write the cost of camera. What's the cost of camera? Let me write it down here. 100 plus X, right? And this the for film I have X, right? Then it spent how much? 125 naira. Can you see the expression now? That is 100 plus X is equals to 125 naira. Is that clear? Is that clear, guys? From the first statement, I will have this. I'm actually spent 125 naira for a camera and some film, and that this is the main expression here. That's all. If X represents film and camera represents the cost, which is 100 naira more than the film. So it's still the same thing. This expression here interprets whatever we are there based on this information given. So what we need to do now is what is percentage of the cost of the two items? Okay, so now in this case, I can easily solve this, and that is 100 plus 2x is equals to 125 naira. Then I will take this one to the other side. You have 2x is equals to 125 minus 100. Now 125 minus 100 is 25. And if I divide both sides by 2, that will give us 12.5. Am I correct? Yeah. 2 in 25 is 12.5. So guys, this meeting is going to end in the next 3 minutes. Am I correct? Can you confirm? The next 3 minutes, right? So I think it's already loading. Let me check. All right. So if it ends, just you guys can join the other link. Please remember. So from here, x is 12.5. So that means this thing here is representing the cost of the film. I already said let the cost of the film represent x. So that means this is 12.5 naira. The cost of the film is 12.5 naira. So how much is the cost of the camera? That will be 100 plus 12.5 naira. And then you have it as 112.5 naira. So if you want to find the percentage of the cost of the two items, what percentage of the cost of the two items did Amakuri spend for the camera? So how are you going to deal with this? We are dealing with the cost of the two items. The two items. That means I'll add the two together. The cost of the two items. This is it here. That's 125 naira, right? That's 120. Is that 125? Yes. What percentage? I think this is how we used to deal with percentage. For the they are referring to the camera itself. So I'm going to try. Hey, this thing is not charging. Let's see. My phone is not charging. So guys, we can try to join the other link. Oops, it's not charging. Is it? I think it's already 9, right? Let me check. 1 minute more. So one thing is for this question here now, we want to what percentage of the cost of the two items. So I'm going to take the amount spent for the camera, which is 100 plus x, 100 plus x over the cost of the two items, which is this, and that is 125 times 100%. So if you try to solve this, you get the correct answer. That is 100 plus 12.5 over 125 times 100 will give you, uh, I think that should give us 112.5 over 125 times 100. Just move this one twice because of these two zeros. You have 11250. 1, 2. Fill this one with 0. That's the concept. So this is what we want to divide. So if I divide this one, what are we going to get? So you can use the on-screen calculator to do that. So I hope that is clear. If you divide this, the result will give us, what are the options? We'll get 90. So I'm going to do that now. That's 90%, yeah. That's 90. This is 100%. Take note. Guys, do you know what this percent means? It means hundreds. It means hundreds, 1 over 100. Is the mistake still on? Let me check. Can you guys hear me? Mister? Okay, thank you. So I said seconds. All right, let me just join the other link. All right, guys.